believe that if women was had them a man, it says an ancient wand here. That's a dick. If women had husbands, okay, this not being married thing has got to stop. If I did things the wrong way, and I take accountability. I've been single for 10 years, and I just like, okay, I'm gonna raise my kids and take the consequences. If God want to redeem the time when I get a little older, give me a little man, something like that, I'm gonna be very grateful. But for the women who have maybe one child, maybe two child, maybe three kids, maybe you ain't got as many kids as I got, and you have a little bit more leeway where you can move around and go out and venture out and enjoy yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other women. You have got to stop doing that. It's not a good look and it's strange. Okay. So we also got jealousy here. You understand? Okay. Jealousy is wanting it's another word for jealousy is covetousness. Okay. And it's getting very strange here. It's getting very odd. Let's go ahead and look on to some more things here. If we had men, okay, let me put these on. I don't even need that. If we have men and you had your husband, right? And your sexual needs is getting met. Because a lot of these women are bitchy and bitches because their sexual needs not being met, or they sharing a man and they really don't want to. Thank you, baby butt. What is she doing? Anyways, back to what I was saying, okay? Because I was my preteens, teenagers. This is a different phase in parenting that is just, ooh, okay? Anyways, I think that us as women, we need to start. It says the older women, because I'm auntie status now. I ain't trying to show you my goodies now, okay? All right. The older women should teach the younger women how to love God, love their husbands, love their kids, and be keepers of home. Most people take that and feel like, oh, well, I'm a woman and I can do just the same thing the men's do. That's not what it's telling you that. That means you have to be taught to be a keeper of your home. A part of that is home economics, right? The economy of your home. If you take care of home correctly, you're not only saving money, you'll be able to, the man or you in yourself will be able to make more money, right? So as far as it goes, organization, trying to clean, making sure it's a nice, pleasant environment, as much as everybody have a little bad days and stuff like that. But I'm talking about as far as the atmosphere, those things add to the economy because the more rest, the more restoration you get, the more laughter, the more understanding, even the more confrontation that you have in your home and boundary setting. Those are part of home economics, not just cooking and cleaning. Okay. That's a big part of it as well, right? We want to be able to try to make sure we eating right or having a little treats, or we want to make sure that we taking care of ourselves. That's home economics in the home. Okay. Taking care of the clothes correctly. That way, if you take care of your kids' clothes, you ain't got to keep buying the clothes. So that's a part of home economics. That's something that has to be taught, right? And then on top of that, how to love your kids. Like I was just interrupted by my kids. I'm finding out that as I'm going through parenthood, okay, and I still have very young kids, but I have a teenager now. I have preteens. It changes. So it's like we used to be able to lean on some of the older women to ask them, how was it parenting a teenager, or how was it parenting, preteen? A lot of times, a lot of these older women or people my age, they want to be so young. You can look young, you can feel young, but you still have wisdom that you can give to another young lady, whether that's your daughters, your granddaughters, your nieces, other young ladies, a little young lady at the bus stop, the little cashier at the thing, and maybe crying, and you could tell that she got postpartum. There's some wisdom that you can give them. Hey, well, he's a teenager. Sometimes it's just being relatable. They teenagers. They be having some bad attitudes, don't they? Sometimes it's best not to talk to them when you mad. That's a little advice right there. Teach, not compete. Teach, or shut up. Because what you're doing is you're adding to the problem and you're making yourself a problem. So now you look like an old fool. We don't want to be an old fool. Ain't no way that the God allowed you to live on this his beautiful green earth this long, and you want to be an old fool, right? Okay. And so also how to love our husbands. How do you love your husband? Right? Sexually, which is a big, everybody love that, right? But sexually, spiritually, emotionally, because men do have emotions and it could change through certain things. A man might lose his job and you might need to call, Mima or TT or one of them, or, lady down the street that see be all up in her yard all the time, like myself, out there with the flowers, and they might be able to offer you. So of course it says You want to be in a good counsel. You don't want to be in bad counsel, because it said, "Don't be blessed are those who sit and don't sit in the counsel of the ungodly, or sit in the seat of the scornful." You don't want to listen to scorned women, right? Like myself, I've been through a lot of terrible things with men, but I've also been through wonderful things with men. So it has to be a balancing act, and that happens. That perspective comes to handing those cares over to God in prayer and let Him work those things out. Even when you get triggered, He'll just work. The triggers are your teachers, right? So you don't want it to be by scorned women, because the signs of scorned women is that, they're hyper independent, and it's not because they have to be, because I'm independent because I have to be. It's like, come on. They're hyper independent. They compete, and they're very nasty towards other women. They compare themselves to other women, like, obsessively. They compete when nobody is competing with them, instead of teaching. Teach and shut up, or don't say anything. Okay? So, getting back to loving your husband, you may have to be, maybe he lose a parent, or lose a family member, lose his best friend, and through death, and you have to love him through that. That's not something that you can't love him through that. It's like, oh, it's our anniversary. I mean, there's ways that you have to ask about wisdom. So that's what us as older women should be doing. And this is what we should be teaching our daughters and our granddaughters, right? Because if we, not saying that you should be, oh, everything is about a man, but a lot of the issues and these behavior problems I'm seeing in women is because you don't have no man. And you not being honest with yourself. So you sticking to fighting with women and beefing and petty. Or you got you a piece of man and you mad because you thinking maybe he liked how she looked, and now you want to compete with the woman. That's crazy. I'm not in a relationship with you, sis. That man is. Or who you want to be in a relationship with you, whether he claiming you or not. Or only with you, because he probably not, especially if you're not married. You understand that openly, where everybody knows about it, not the secret stuff. So this is that scripture just really just gripped me a little bit, and that thought really gripped me. It just really gripped me. I think if women need more dick. I think that if we was giving fellatio to our husbands, and if we was focusing on our household, because there's so much stuff to do in the house. Oh my goodness, there's so many projects to do, stuff that need to be fixed or stuff that can be improved. That's home economics. Ways you could try to cut your budgeting, ways that you can work on your health, work on your fitness. There's so many things to do rather than to act like this. And I think a lot of this weird energy that's coming from women is because they don't have no leadership. They don't have no man telling them to shut your mouth. That's enough. Because, if you keep gossiping to a real nigga, and she said this and she thought she was this. And I was like, boom, girl, body tea. Let me show you. If you was seeing all of this type of little weird stuff, after a while, a real man said, I don't want to hear all of that. They prefer to have you in the bed, just, give you back shots. So if you really had the opportunity, if you really had the option, it's a better word, to get back shots from your husband, get your feet rubbed, chill on the porch, eat a little steak, have a little barbecue, get some validation, feel love, feel safe, not be lonely. Or to be over here beefing with women over stuff that neither one of y'all can give to each other. You ain't got no penis, I ain't got no penis. Over body image, over who got the money, over who got the clout and all. So you can see the people who are doing all of this stuff, they don't have that other option. And instead of pouring into themselves to make sure, okay, this is what I really want, get honest with yourself. You want a man. You want a man. That's a little song for you, because I know y'all like to sing. You want a man. You want a dick and some balls. You want back shots. There's no way women are killing themselves in the gym, getting a lot of this plastic surgery, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not against it. I just don't like to get a whole bunch of surgeries, because I didn't have surgeries that I didn't really want to get to before. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that I had to get dealing with my kid. Anyways, that's what the majority of women want. They want a man. If you see all of this competing, you see all of this comparing, you see all of this, I'm throwing shade and all of this. If you had a man and you had his dick in your mouth, you wouldn't be doing that. If a man was buying you flowers and rubbing your feet and telling you doing a good job and you look good, you would not be doing all of that. There's no way. I'm a woman, I know. I don't do all of that, and I ain't got no woman. I ain't got no man. Look at no woman. I ain't got no man. But I want to have one, so I would prefer to work on myself, and then whatever type of man the Lord wants to have for me to be led up under, that's the man that He's going to bring to me, right? And men find other women attractive. And it might be someone that's similar to you. May have a certain type. Or it might be somebody completely different than you. I don't know. But all of this type of, and whatever God has for you is for you. Okay? I think the women need to start telling themselves the truth. They didn't want a man. They want to have sex. They want to ride a dick. They want to get back shot. They lying. This is too much lying going on here. It's too much lying. And it's too much overcompensating with this projection and being rude and I'm malicious and I'm catty and round. Like, girl, shut your ass up. Go work on yourself and then go put yourself out there in quality spaces and then get a man. Have some companionship, some friendship. Somebody you can talk to, somebody you can feel understood by. Somebody that can pray for you, somebody that can check you. Because a lot of y'all need to be checked by a man. See, you want to go back and forth with a woman because you think that's how you're going to get man's attention. See, you ain't been taught right. You don't get no real niggas attention like that. Real niggas don't like all that drama and that stupidity. It's stupid. You want a man. All women want to have sex with their man. We want to make love, Put on some Kenny G or Kenny G, some Marvin Gaye, some Shy Lights, Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, the Whispers, okay? The Dramatics, the Temptations, all right? David Ruffin, all of them. You want to put something like that on some real night, the Isley Brothers. You want to, you want a social. You want somebody to dance with you, so they could call it socially. You want somebody to tickle you. You want somebody to rub you on the back and say, baby, you did a good job today. That's what you want. You want to give that back to a man. But the problem is, a lot of women have been feeding their good energy into the wrong men, and they get played, they get embarrassed. And instead of them pushing that behavior and their anger towards probably, to express it to that man or express it to God, they push it towards other women, towards going through this competing thing. And it's really to get the approval of a man or